Well, good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat. You hang out with me in here in my sewing room, and I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. Good morning, everybody. Cindy from New Mexico says it's starting to finally feel like fall. I know we have got foggy mornings now all the time. So this is my first year. So I'm going to be 62 next month. And this is the first year of my life where I can honestly say my bones are starting to tell the weather. Why does this happen to us? Who else can do that? I've heard about that before, but I always thought it was kind of but that barometric pressure drops and, oh boy, awesome. Good morning, everybody in the chat. You guys are doing great. Oh my goodness, so good to see everybody here. If you're brand new, thank you for joining us. Pop into the chat and say hi. We need to know who our new people are. And if you're watching on replay, I love you guys. Y'all are my replay crew. And I even have seen a t-shirt. It said PTWT Nation. Somebody made it. And on the back, like a jersey, she wrote replay crew. And I thought that was just hilarious. I love it. So you guys have your own stuff going on. Here are the dogs. Let's say hello to the girls. There they are. This is Frito and this is Dottie. Frito is a, let's see, 5 or 6 year old Queensland stumpy tail cattle dog. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see them a little better because they're being shy. There's Frito right there. And Dottie is out of shot, is what she's doing. Why don't you come over here, baby? There we go. No, you're out of shot. Well, you guys, that's because my laptop is kind of in the way and you guys can't see that. And they are out of shot. All right. You're not being very helpful. You're not. Well, we'll have to do it this way today, won't we? Yeah. Let's get your Dave biscuits out. There you go, sweetie. She sits so pretty. She knows she needs to sit to get her treat. Such a good girl. Yes, you're such a good girl. She is beginning, Dottie is 4 months old, and she is beginning to demonstrate fear of the dark. She will not go outside in the dark. All right, Missy, let's get you a treat. We have some chew sticks here. Okay, we're going to go out the door. Sorry, y'all, this is our routine. Okay, we're going to go out the door. You ready? Out here, come on. You can't be in while I'm doing this. No, you can't. There's one for you, and there's you, and bye-bye. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they get into the cords. So, or they'll start playing or whatever. All right. Yeah, Dottie's beginning to show fear of the dark. And so, the time has changed. And so now it's dark in the morning when she goes outside on her initial. And Dee says it's scary in the dark. She doesn't blame her. Well, it's Frito runs off to chase cats and whatever. So she's very unsure. I wouldn't call her fearful, but she's unsure. And so anyway, we have to go out and stand there while she does her business because she's afraid. Awesome. All right, you guys. I hope you had as productive a weekend as I did. I got so much done. Oh my goodness, so much done. All right, I'm going to take a drink here. My coffee. Yay, Black Rifle, just black, my favorite. So last week we had stitched some pot holders, and I did these two. I did one of them with y'all, and then the other one I did afterwards. And I got into Corey Yoder's Starberry. Look at these. Aren't they gorgeous? Now, I was watching Joy Bernhardt's channel, and she and Philly made a bunch of these. Philly's her friend. And they mentioned that this right here is just a little too high. And they're right. It is closer to the top seam. It's not centered properly. If you have Embroidery embroidery software, or any embroidery software really, but Embroidery is super easy, just highlight this stitch, bring the design in, highlight the stitch, and bring it down just a tiny bit, and that'll work fine. It's not attached to anything, so it'll stitch out just fine. I had noticed that on the blue ones, but y'all, these get beat up And Starberry is a beautiful, beautiful Christmas line. So I've got these two done, and I didn't have any grow grain ribbons. So I went ahead and just took a 2-inch piece of the backing fabric, okay, and folded it in half to get a center crease. I just took I cut like an 18-inch strip off the fat quarter and folded it in half to get a center crease, and then folded the sides into that half line, and then folded that all together to get this 1/4-inch-ish. It's fine. And then I stitched both sides of it with black thread, and they turned out just beautiful, just beautiful. So the plan is to do another set in the green with some more fabric from Starberry. And my daughter-in-law, these are going to my daughter-in-law, and my daughter-in-law's mother and stepfather live, I call it the compound up in Colorado. They live on the same property in another house. And so I'm going to tell my daughter-in-law to pick one and give the other one to her mom. So that'll be nice. I like her mom, Loretta. Very nice. Okay. I was working on Friday. I was working on the lower handle for the quilted snowman. There it is. I finished that on Friday. So I got that done. Well, woo, my reflexes are good this morning, huh? Actually, I didn't finish this Friday. This block right here, okay, it's got this, and it has squared off corners or rounded off corners, as the case may be. So I had made this block, okay? You're supposed to cut it to 4.5, and I'd only cut it to 4. And I made it so I didn't just mess up one piece, I messed up 3 pieces. That's right. And it turned out beautiful, but it didn't fit. So I was just disgusted with it. Okay. I just looked at it and I thought, ugh. And y'all know that's not normally like me, but I'll tell you what was going on. My cutting table from one end to the other was nothing but projects, hoops and stabilizer from embroidery stuff I had done, and the morning's leftovers from what we did on the channel, and just all kinds of stuff. And my room was completely, for my comfort level. If you guys watch Dana K. White, is it Dana K. White that does it? I think she talks about a clutter threshold. Well, my clutter threshold had been exceeded. And it's not clutter I needed to get rid of. It was clutter that needed to go to its home. And so we had to go across town to visit a contractor or see a contractor. And then we came back, and I spent a good half hour just going through the room and putting things where they needed to go. Okay. Again, I didn't need to declutter. I just needed to, where would I look for it first? I love Dana K. White's. She's from A Slob Comes Clean, and her methods to keep your house under control, and in this case, my room under control, have helped me so, so much. If you've not watched her, I'm giving her a shout out. She doesn't know me from Adam, and she doesn't know I'm doing this. Y'all check out her channel, okay? So she makes the container the bad guy. So if the container's full, you got to get rid of stuff. And the container could be your room. I didn't mean to talk about this, but we need to tidy, don't we? It could be your room. It could be a shelf. It could be a closet. It could be whatever, okay? So I have gone through here and really decluttered this room. Oh, this year, a lot of it went to our actual, not a virtual, a real sewing retreat in El Campo, Texas. And I got rid of a lot of stuff. And so anyway, long story short, I took Friday and just really, I put everything back. And when I was finished, this big cutting table was completely clean. And all the hoops were put where they needed to go. And they had their little plastic things in the middle of them where, you know, my magnetic ones, everything was in its place. And I felt so much better. And when I woke up Saturday morning, I was like, I had left this block sitting on my straight stitch machine. And I left it there and I was like, I just don't even feel like doing this. And that was because my visual clutter was so overwhelming to my brain that I just couldn't do it. Does that happen to you guys? Let me know in the chat. It is, yeah, Dana K. White is the name of her channel. It's her blog is A Slob Comes Clean. She puts the K in there so she's not confused with Dana White, the big wrestling promoter guy. So yes, Vicky says, every time I sew a project, my sewing room explodes. So for me, what happened was I couldn't even think about moving that stuff out of the way to cut a 4.5-inch block and get those other 2 blocks cut of the background fabric so that I could recreate the block. But Saturday morning, I woke up and my room was completely clean. And I was like, oh, I can do that. And y'all, it took me less than 3 minutes to not only cut it, 5 minutes, okay, but get it sewn and fixed and continue on with the block. So yeah, you know, quilting with Harriet, my mother used to say that a messy room is a sign of creativity. Well, okay. My mom used to say that. She wasn't a very good housekeeper. Yeah, the way I keep clean would drive her crazy. And I believe that too. Keith is very creative and he's not very organized, and that makes me crazy. But as long as he keeps his stuff in another building, I'm okay with that. But anyway, the point is that when I came back out here, I was no longer frozen in, I just don't feel like doing that. It was just that the mess was just draining my energy and I couldn't function. So if that happens to you, you know, just stop what you're doing and clean a spot or a corner or something. It's really important. When we're in here, it's a never ending battle, right? Never ending. So Bernadette says, I want this kind of organization. You've been a total mess. Yeah, well, and she broke her ankle. And we have health things that get in the way too, right? That makes it even more important. It's almost like we have to spend more time putting stuff away than we do our projects. So that was a long way around John's barn of a story to tell you that I finished the lower handle of the wagon for Quilted Snowman. All right. And also, not to be a UFO, is the Things Above quilt. I have been working on this since this summer. We went on a 6-week around the central US trip in our motorhome, and I was working on this. So I wanted to share with you. You like that, quilt wench? Long way around John's barn. My mom used to say that too. She was she had more sayings. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the way this pattern is set up, this is the one with the biblical sayings in the center of the 12 churches. Okay, this is called Firm Foundation. And the fabric line is Set Your Sights on Things Above. So Moda created the kit, Things Above. Okay. And whatever it is in this quilt, you got to make 12 of them because it's 12 churches. Except for the Ohio Stars, you got to make 24 of those because there's 2 on the top of each church. The hard part about this is the way my brain thinks. I like, I think like industry. Do one thing the same and get that done, and then do the next thing the same and get that done. To me, that's more productive. Okay. So I would make all of the Ohio Stars first, which I did. I'm not going church by church by church. But the process that I do does slow me down a bit because you have to match the correct fabrics for the steeple and the door, right? And all of that. For each one, they're completely different. So that has slowed me down to get 12 of everything cut and put it in a stack of a church where they all go. So I already have the Ohio stars done. All 24 of those are in here. Check those points. Read them and weep, girls and guys. Okay. And then I didn't cut the whole church, the whole quilt first. I probably should have, but I didn't. Okay. And then we have to do unit 1, which is a steeple, which is the steeple and the bottom of it. And then there's a half square triangle at the bottom and that. So that is exactly what I worked on yesterday. Okay. So all 12 of those are finished. So that's good. Unit 1 is done. Very happy to have all of these done. Bernadette says, I hate you. I love your points. Now. Okay. Also, I have all of the front of the buildings and the doors. The doors? No. The front of the buildings, I think, and the base, we've got some flying geese that have to get made on these little pieces. So those are cut. Okay. When I was making the half square triangle, when I was making this half square triangle right here, okay, you're supposed to cut that thing in half and sew on the diagonal. You know how I don't like doing that. So anyway, I did almost do with the directions the way they said it. So this half square triangle got built at the same time as these half square triangles, and they have to be squared up to 2.5. So this is each side of the roof. Okay, these are all done. Each side of the roof, those got done. This fabric here, the pretty fabric, is the other half of that half square triangle. That's how they did that. And then I had to make these for the other end of the roof. And these are already squared up. I put a little note on these that these need to be squared up to 2.5. And so I still need to cut my roofs and get those together. I have not yet cut out the panel to get each one of those stains done on the chapels. Okay. So lots of work on the things above. It is not going to be a UFO. Okay. Good. All right. So that got done too. I think that's all I did on that one. Yes. Put the pattern back, put this in here, zip that closed. Y'all, if it wasn't for Yazzy Bags, oh my goodness. Oh, I was talking to Mr. Yazzy, Yasmita's husband from Yazzy Bags, and he let me know that they do want to make more of those quilt project bags that she made from my inspiration, and get them out on the market. But right now, there's still a lot of stuff going on with tariffs and shipping costs and inspection costs on the containers. And it would really make the price of the bag a little out of reach. So they're going to hold off on making more of them. They're making more of them, but until they get them shipped from India. So I just want to let you guys know. So those of you, oh, you finished yours, Karen? Good for you. It was a challenge. Yeah, not a simple quilt. And it uses a panel. You think it would be easy, but no. So nearly again, that Yazzy organizer, the quilt project kit, which I've got my quilted snowman in. It's a real big kit and it's really tall, holds the trays. Lots of 3 little bags come with it, plus a big block bag. Everything's inside of it to stay organized. But even if you don't do that, this is the block organizer bag. They have these on the website. And y'all, I've got a coupon code below in the description box for Yazzy Bags. You can get 10% off. Also, I've got a code for Hot Fix Adhesive if you guys want to use that. And I've got a code for 10% off that. And that's only for my viewers. Okay. So nobody else gets that. If you don't watch me, you're going to pay. Those people are going to pay more than you do. All right. The Yazzy bags are expensive. They are. They are the best in the industry. They are made so incredibly well. Metal zippers, I mean, everything, or the pull tabs, everything is just, they're so good. But I like the project bag because it's got a clear thing on it and I can see what's in there. One thing I would like to see, I would like them to put a little clear thing right here that I could slip a card into and say what the project is. So if I'm storing it, you know, however, I'm just being picky. So, okay. Are you guys ready for Halloween? That's this Friday. Isn't that nuts? Where did the year go? My goodness. Crazy. So, oh, good. Connie used my code for hotfix over the weekend. Thank you. Thank you. You need an intervention, Mandy. She says, I got too many junk drawers. One drawer at a time. You need to watch that Dana K. White. Yeah, and she has what she calls a 1 hour better, and I love that. First thing you do is start with a trash bag and you throw away obvious trash. And then you have what are called duh donations, meaning it's a good thing, but you don't need it. It doesn't fit. It works fine, but you just want to get rid of it. Duh donations. And then you pick up a thing and you say, where would you look for it first? You know, where does it go, right? And you'd be surprised by the time you go through those 3 steps, all of a sudden everything in your drawer is manageable. It's amazing. And in 1 hour. So anyway, didn't come here to talk about that. I did come here today to do the penguin for Enchanted Winter. I'm working on that. Oh my gosh, Bernadette. So she's got all her Christmas gifts bought or done and wrapped. What a girl. Yes, look, this Eli F. I love a slob comes clean. It inspires me. Me too. I watch her whenever she puts out a new video, and I hate it. She goes on a break for the whole summer. But whenever she puts out a video, I'll watch it. Even though I know her processes and everything, I'll watch it. And sometimes I'll even, while I'm listening to them, I'll pull a drawer open right there on my desk and start going through it. All righty. I am making the Enchanted Winter. I got 4 blocks left to go. Got some flower things. I'll do those up when we finish here today. I want those done. I need my multi-needle back. And on the multi-needle is all of the threads. So for this penguin, there are 11 thread colors in Enchanted Winter, and I have a 10 needle. So the that 11th color is the burnt orange. The glide burnt orange is the color, and it's the beak. And so I went through the book here and looked to see if there was a color that was not used. And spool number 2, the darker blue, is not used. So I have swapped out the burnt orange for spool number 2. So I've got to program the machine. I was going to do it last night, but once you turn it off, it doesn't save that in memory. So FYI, if you have a multi-needle and you have to do this, you can try to save it in memory. It won't remember your spools. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I need to go through here. Oh, and you know what? I tried last night to get the polar, not the polar bear, the snowman. Is the snowman back here? I tried to get the snowman done. Okay. I tried to get it done with the background quilting on it, and not actually stitch it out, but just build it and put it in memory. And that way, tomorrow, if I come back to do it, it's right there. It would not allow me to import the 8x10 background quilting design from Kimberbell into the machine because the hoop is an 8x12 and it's that outer line and it won't let me import the design. So tomorrow I'm going to make the I'm going to make the polar bear, the snowman, and I'm going to be using that big 14 by 14 hoop. I think I could use the 9 by 14, which is the biggest one that comes with the machine, right? But I like playing with my new toys. Okay. Programming colors is a pain. I know, Linda. I know. I get it. I just go along with the book, just go along with the book. It's confusing though, because I do have the background quilting in there already. And so that puts me 3 off. Because 1 is not 1. Stitch number 1 is not 1. Stitch number 1 is actually number 4. Because the quilting has the background placement, tack down, background quilting. Those are the first 3. All right. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Kathleen. Thanks for joining us. Where's my coffee? I am 99% finished with the final video for Prairie Days, getting it edited. And I'm going to finish that this morning. And so it will be published today. So the first one is done. And I also got the first 2 videos shot for, or first video actually, shot for block 2. Those are for our members only. All right. Oh, yeah, Donna, it'll do that. She says, I need to have my multi-needle looked at because it will come back. What it won't remember is when I custom create individual spools and try to save it into memory, it doesn't remember that. It'll bring it back to the default on a design. So, all righty, y'all. So I've got another camera hooked up here today. Let's get over to this. This is my multi-needle. Y'all, this quilt that's on here, now Elaine Gillen made that in AI, and it's so funny. That was before we got Dottie. That's me with a seam ripper, a sewing machine, a scan and cut, a cup of coffee, and a dog. And there's me and my husband. And one more. Let's see. I wanted to see if I think the next one that's years old. Oh my goodness. Let me tap that. Oh, it was my son and daughter-in-law. Okay. I did set the design up last night and got it in here. Now I just need to program the spools. So I'm going to go to the machine for memory. And here it is right here. So that's all set. And I'm going to tell it, okay. And I need to write front on the front of that. All righty. Tom and Jackie. Hi, I'm here. Welcome, my friend. Glad you joined us. Okay, I've got to program this. And I need my glasses. There they are. I need to do those corner blocks. Those are quilt as you go. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I don't know. So let me get my penguin. He's page 33. Yeah. All right. I'm going to come over here on the other side of this camera. And if I had clean glasses, that would help. Oh, I got to put my oil in too. Okay. So here we go. All right. The background design was Winter 7 6x8. And the embroidery instructions, I got the design in there. All right. So I'm going to hit edit end now. And here are the 3 spools I'm talking about where you custom tell the machine what spool to use and when to stop and all that. Okay. So number 1 is the placement line. These numbers right here correspond to these numbers right here correspond to I'm sorry, I'm having a brain moment. Your color stops, and we've got 32 color stops. This is your preview of what it is. Here's how many color stops you have. And these numbers right here correspond to the needles on the back of the machine. We have a hand to do a stop, do not stitch, and press OK. All right. So G is the placement line. I need to program in first these, and it's all spool number 1, and I think that's fine. Let me make sure. 1. Okay. I need it to stop. It does stop, then stitch, not stitch, then stop. So I need it to stop so I can put my fabric down. And then let's see. Oh, you know what? Is that the out? That's the outer line. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's the inner line. I want those. This is the outer line. I'm going to tell it do not stitch. And this is the tack down for the outer line. I'm going to tell it do not stitch. And I'm doing that because I am going to use the trimmer by George and get right up next to that stitching, okay, to trim out the batting and whatnot. Okay. What is this one? There's the background snow. That is spool number 1. So that's good. And there is the ice. That's the placement line. Also spool number 1. And I'm going to go to number 2 and I'm going to tell it stop so I can put down my glitter vinyl. And then number 3, it's going to do the bottom of the skates, but I need for it to stop so I can trim away the glitter vinyl. Okay. So, whoop, went too far. Hold on. I tapped the wrong thing. There. Let me get that up so I don't have to keep messing with the bottom. Now, the bottom of the skates is, let's see here, where am I? That is the blades detail spool J, which is spool number 10. J is the 10th number of the alphabet. So that is how I put all of my spools. All right. After that is spool C, the skate fills. So C is number 3, third letter of the alphabet. And then we have the skates accents, which is A, that's number 1. Okay, I'm just going to go through here and keep doing this. 2 more A's. Uh-oh, hold on. Okay, that's a placement line for the body. And then the next one is the tack down. Before it stitches that, I need to tell it to stop so I can put my fabric down. And that's not 7, that is A, spool number 1. It tells me right in here in this book. It gives me my little letters and it tells me what it is. All right, the tack down line is A. Inner body placement line is going to be spool number 7. And here is the tack down. I need it to stop before it stitches that so I can put the fabric down. Spool number 7. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Right, so, okay. Okay, spool number 7. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. That's the tack down. Now, before it stitches that, I need it to stop. That's what I was missing. So I can trim away the inner body. Okay. And then this is the tack down for the inner body. And there, before it stitches that, I need it to stop so I can trim away that fabric. We are jumping over to page, let's see, 34. The tummy decorative outline is G. That is spool number 7. And that decorative outline is the head fill and body satin outline, spool J. That's spool number 10, color J. Okay. There's a hat. That is E, which is number 5. Placement line. Whoop, wrong way. There it is. There's the tack down. Before it stitches that, I need it to stop so that I can put my fabric down. This is a pain. We're only halfway through, Linda. I know it. And before it stitches that, I need it to stop so that I can trim that away. And let's see, hat and brims, tack down, still spool number, this is not right. This is spool number 5. And spool number 5. There we go. Got to catch it, right? Placement line for the scarf. All of that. E is spool number 5. Okay. What is this? Oh, that's just a fill. I don't need it to stop after that. Okay. Before it stitches that, I need it to stop. Spool number 5 again. And there's the outlines before it stitches that. I need it to stop so that I can trim. And that is also spool number 5 for the scarf. Okay. Stitch the scarf snowflake details is spool G, which is spool number 7. And that's spool number 7. Did I do that right? Let's see. Tack down. Final. That is not 7. That is 5. Snowflakes is 7. And then let's see here. Cheek fills, tummy. Is that what we're doing? Yeah, cheek fills and tummy. That is also number 7. Would you tap the right one for crying out loud? You're driving me crazy. There. The beak, that's going to be number 2. I told y'all I switched that spool. You guys could go to the grocery store right now while I do this. That's fine. Stitch the eyes fill, spool number 10. And here we go. If you plan to attach the pom-pom, skip to step 22. I don't do pom-poms. So let's see, -3. We're on 23, which is C. So that one is going to be number 3. And okay, I can't tell where I'm at. I'm all lost now. Let me see here. 25 minus 3 is 22. So 22 needs to be spool number 3. Okay. And that needs to be 26. Minus 3 is 23. Also spool 3, which is good. All righty, here we go. And then the next one is I. And that pom-pom, what's I? Let's see. E, F, G, H, I. Spool number 9. Right? Is that correct? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Yes, spool 9. And then H is going to be spool 8. Okay. I keep touching the wrong thing. It's driving me crazy. 25. This should be 8. I got this wrong, you guys. 24 is supposed to be I, which is 9. Okay. Ooh, this is hard. I'm almost done. I'm on 29. Let me see here. It's 26. F is spool 7. It would help if I just didn't spool 7. And then 31. Let's see. Is what? Also spool 7. I think I got that wrong somewhere in there. Okay. Boy, that was hard, y'all. That was like watching paint dry. Goodness sakes, it's awful. Let me come back here. I need to double check this. Where am I? So 24. Yeah, that's correct. And the beak, let's see, 22 is supposed to be spool C, which is 3. Yes. So I've got 2 3s and 9 and 8. And what is that? 29 minus 3 is 26. Is supposed to be F. EF, which is the purple. And that's spool 6. No, that's not correct. That is the bottom of that cone. The cone fill is I, which is 9. There we go. Okay. And then what is that? The cone details is H. Let's see. F, G, H, which is spool number 8. I knew I had that wrong. And then the top of the ice cream is 7. Yes. And that is 7 as well. Okay. Did I get it right? Are you guys think I'm right? Who was paying attention? Anybody? My goodness. I'm going to tell it okay. That is what will not stay in memory if all of that work right there. I'm going to tell it okay. So I can hit memory right now and it won't do it. And if I hit memory, it'll all go back to default. So don't do that. Oh my gosh. All righty. I need to do my oil in here. Okay. So let's bring it down a little bit so you can see. Let's see, widen a little bit and bring it down just a little bit so you guys can see what's going on here. Okay. Nope, that way. There we go. Oh, I got to tell y'all. So this is so funny. This cabinet right here, there is a light switch for this light right up above me because it was a dark corner. So my husband installed a light up there for me when we refurbished this room. The switch for the light is back behind here on a wall back here. And I have to go through these gymnastic gyrations to get back in there. I've been doing that now for 3 years. Okay. Well, the other day, my husband had to get back there and turn the light off. I was in the other room. I don't know why, but he had to get back there and turn the light off. And he starts hollering and carrying on about how hard it is to get to the light switch. And I said, I know, that's what I've been living with for 3 years. And so the next day, what arrives? An Amazon smart switch that he installs, and now I can control it with the Echo Dot. And I just say, Alexa, turn the sewing room light off. Okay. Alexa, turn the sewing room light on. Okay. And I'm like, I've been dealing with this for 3 years. You do it one time and you automate it. Why didn't somebody tell me about these things? Oh my goodness. I was like, seriously? You know, and he's got me over there flipping off power and whatnot. And he's like, okay, I think we got it. And my phone picked it right up and it just became part of it. I'm like, this is crazy. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I shouldn't say the A-late, but I wanted to demo how, you know, isn't it funny? I'm over here struggling. Oh my goodness. Maybe I just don't complain enough. I think all of, you know, back in the day when only men were engineers, I think that men automated so much stuff to make our home life easier, like dishwashers and washing machines and all that kind of stuff, and made them computerized and whatnot, because women gripe constantly. This is hard. Right? I'm just not I'm not a griper. So anyway. I know, no. Oh, well, yeah. I just, yeah, you know, it's one of those things where I just do it. It didn't even occur to me. I got to put a drop of oil in my bobbin case, you guys. That is too funny. Women need to engineer mammography machines. No kidding. Oh my gosh. I went and had that done the other day. Praise Jesus, I'm healthy. But yeah, that was miserable. Miserable. So, and I think those of us that are more endowed than others suffer the most. We've got more surface to pinch. Oh my word. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's how that goes, right? All righty. It is funny. Oh no. Are you serious, Patches? Oh my goodness. Are you? My son would laugh. Men find that so funny. Heard a parrot do it on Instagram. Oh my gosh. Let's get stitching. Oh my goodness. Oh, the commercial made by all things made by women. I believe it. Let's go to embroidery. Get this going. I did preload. I've got all of my fabrics prepared, and the background fabric has the fusible woven on the back of it. And I also put fusible woven on the back of the white fabric for the belly. I got some fusible woven on that as well on the back because I didn't want the blue to, it's going on top of black fabric. So just to make it a little more opaque. All right. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, seriously, Keith? You know, I've been doinking around doing all these gymnastics. If anything, it's helped me keep my weight down because, you know, when you're fat, you can't get back there. Which is, I'm not going to go there. Be nice, Becky, be nice. So, yes, that's very smart to have your outlets built high enough so you don't have to stoop. That is smart. Okay. I have some other stuff I want to tell you guys. Let me look here. No, my sewing cabinet did not come on Friday. I think it shipped on Friday. We're going to go around twice here. Okay. No, that's it. That's what I needed to tell you. That's what I was going to tell you. So I'm not 100% on my chosen thread color, so I'm going to sit here and babysit this the whole time. Oh, yeah. Kim, they listen to everything. Yep. They listen to everything. Get a power serger with a long cord. I have a whole house serger on my house, surge suppressor. Right? No kidding. Oh, you know what? I think if you've ever had IBS, that feels like labor. Yeah, so men can kind of equate it that way, right? All righty. Tracy says, tell me about that white surface area on your 10 needle. This is the quilting table, okay? And this is an extension. I actually have a video on how to install this. I did it. I made that video years and years ago. And this came standard when I bought mine. Now the new 1060s are out. This is the PR 1055. And the 1060s are out. And the quilt table is not standard, okay? But yeah, it just hooks. I'll show you. If I can get it low enough. I don't know if I can get it low enough. See these two screws right here? It just hooks in there and then tightens in like with these thumb screws. And it's great. And I love it because when I'm doing projects like this, I can pull out the hoop and then I'm able to just do my work right there on the table. If you're going to be doing any kind of end-to-end, edge-to-edge quilting, or you're doing any kind of stuff like that, I just love it because it supports the weight of the project too, if you're going to be quilting like that. Yeah, I love, love, love my table. Absolutely. So what cabinet is my 10 needle on? Donna, it's on the Ava from Arrow. I'll show you guys. The Ava cabinet from Arrow. I love this thing. It is not cheap. See how it handles the shake of the machine? It's just totally sturdy. And it has thread spool storage in here that I don't have anything in there right now. And then it has cubbies for hoops. And this is where I keep, this is my storage. This is where I keep a current project that I'm working on. That's where that goes. I've got clips and I have dime target stickers. And then back there is a basket and it has the hat hoop in it. And that also came standard with it, I think. Okay, and then in here in this drawer, I've got shallow baskets where I keep my bird's nest thing, bobbins that didn't get used up, extra bobbins if I need them. And then I have Filtech bobbins. These are the white ones. And then I have black ones. I wrote black on the outside of the box. And here's my 3M paper tape. That's where I keep all that. I have this in my Amazon store. You get 12 rolls for like 10 bucks. What is this? That is something. I don't know. Okay. And this is 2 extra bobbin cases that I bought from Sewing Parts Online. And here's the original case that came with it of accessories, right? And more needles. I just have various things back here, okay? Pins, clips, oil. This is where the oil is right there, okay? And then a glue stick and a roll of Kimberbell tape. And then some more skinnier. This is OESD's wash away paper tape. All right, and then here, well, here are the screwdrivers and tools that I need for getting in there. And then in this drawer, I have more bobbins. I have software that I can't use. I don't know how to use it. I've tried several times to use Artista. I can't. I don't know how it works. There's a hoop grid, couple of hoop grids. And then I have some dime, there's some Target paper, printable paper, dime alignment things. The embroiderer's helper to align embroidery design. What was this for? That's my Power Tools with Thread logo to embroider that. I have an OESD stabilizer guide in here. I didn't know that was there. How about that? This really goes somewhere else. I wouldn't look for it here. I'd look for it with my stabilizers. My operation manual in here. And so all the grids for the machine are in here. And then there's a chair I don't have anymore. I throw that away. Okay. This needs to go somewhere else. And then I have the refill clips for this thing. Just if you want to snap stabilizer onto a magnetic frame, this is what you need. Love it. And then in here, let's come on down. We might as well take a tour of my, take a tour, okay? I have my mat for hooping. I have the B frame for the machine, which holds that 14 by 14. I have another, I don't know what this is and I don't know how to use it. It's another arm extension, I guess. I don't know. I have the dime hoop mats in here so I can work on the back or the front, as the case may be, for these things. This is all my extra hoops, and I have another hoop mat right there, the original blue one and the new pink one. And then I have all of my it's a mess, y'all. Just forcing that one question forces me to go through that. I've got all of these jerky, what are they called? The easy frames. And the arm for them. So I've got that. I don't use these a lot because they make me nervous. I know some people swear by them. And then this is, what is this? Is this the magnetic? No. I don't know what this is. It came with the machine, y'all. I could look in my book. Y'all know what this is? Hoop arm for tubular embroidery project. Okay. I don't know what this is. It's a magnetic hoop. What it is. there's two things in here. Let me get this off. You can tell I use this a lot, right? It is a scanning mat. You're absolutely right, Angela. You're right. So this is the scanning mat because the 1055 has a camera. So there's the scanning mat. And then, I've scanned on this machine, but I just lay my picture right on top of the stabilizer. And then this is the magnetic hoop that came with this thing. Oh, that's a lot. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. It's nice and clean in there. There was so much stuff on top of it, it never had a chance to get dirty. I'm going to put this face down so it doesn't get scratched up. And then the tubular frame. Yeah, this frame is for tubular things. You're right. It needs my attention, my jerky frames. Okay, we're going to put all this stuff back. Oh, my word, y'all. My back. Whoa. Yeah. That is a big hoop. I know. I'm going to put this down. Okay. The 14 by 14 won't fit in here. Let's see. These are for traditional hoops, not for and I rarely use the traditional hoops. This one's for the luminaire. So this one, I often need these and they're not available to me because they're over here and I don't want to take the time. I'm going to move not this one. This stays. I'm going to move these over to where the luminaire is. Yeah. Hold on. Right? I can't remember. Well, I'm not going to fiddle with it right now. My back is hurting me bending over like this. Killing me. So I'm just going to put these back. Okay. Woo! Man! Oh! My back is killing me. Where am I at? The ice. Okay. It created the... Y'all. Oh my gosh. Did my 10 needle stand help with the vibration? Yes. That was one thing. This stand is not cheap, you guys. This cabinet is not cheap, but it is so sturdy. It handles the shake of the machine. They make a metal one too, I know, for multi-needles, and you can look at that, but you really need to see a test of it doing like what it was just doing with the background quilting, and it's just, like crazy. How'd that go? Oh, where are we? Let me make this wide. Okay, let's do some applique, shall we? So it has put there's a thread on there. It put the outline for, let me show you. It put the outline for the vinyl, the glitter vinyl for the ice. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm going to get some of that tape that I have here. I need another tape dispenser because I only have the one. And I drag it all over the room of all the stuff that I have. Oh, wow, there's our hour. So there, you took a tour of my Ava cabinet. So Pearl says hers came with a metal stand and it works great. That's good. Yeah. Now this glitter vinyl, you have to peel the plastic off the top of it. Okay. And you can press it with a pressing cloth. I'm not going to do that. So take the plastic off that if you have it. And then I'm going to set it right over the top of the pond outline there. Let me get another piece. And I'm going to tape it down. I don't use tape a lot in the single needle, but boy, do I use it in the multi-needle. You do not want your fingers anywhere near that. When those needles are moving, anywhere, don't do it. All right, we're going to stitch down. What is that? Okay. It's on spool number 2. I must have pressed something or I didn't press something. So let me show you how to fix that because that's wrong. I don't want that at all. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut it. I'm going to lock and cut. Okay. I cannot see a little orange dot. That's good. I didn't even pay attention to that. This needs to be spool number 7. Okay, I think. Let me double check the pattern. I think it is spool 7, the tack down. Yes, spool 7 for the placement line. Okay, so I need to change my thread color here mid-design. And the way to do that is there is on these machines, there's a magic wand. Okay, so first you have to go back to the beginning of this color stop. So I'm going to go into needle plus minus, and I'm just going to tap the 2, and that brings it back to the beginning of that color stop. So I'm going to tell it okay. And now I can go into my magic wand, and I'm going to tell it number 7. It'll knock at you and won't let you do the color change if you are not back at the beginning of the color stop. Okay, so now I'm going to tell it lock and go. And now it's going to switch over to the right color. There we go. So I said, I got to sit here and babysit this and make sure I did it right. So, perfect. All right, you guys, our hour is up. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you got something done in your sewing room, whether you're organizing, decluttering, or actually sewing. Maybe you're cutting, but it's a great day to be in our sewing room. And I love y'all. I will see you tomorrow. And thank you so much for joining me. You guys go sew something. Bye.